Surprise, surprise. I got it. I'm getting it done, y'all. Getting it done. Welcome to my channel, Watch Your Mouth Reviews. This is your boy James, where I am here to give my honest review while trying to watch my mouth. It's not gonna happen this video, thanks to this lady with the bangs all the way at the end. But joining me as always is my co-host, Mrs. Best. Y'all say what's up to her.
Hello, beautiful people. I'm happy to be here on the clock. So if I'm in and out, I apologize. It's because somebody called. But like the video, support James, subscribe. He don't
Yes,
bite.
like Yes, y'all better like the video, subscribe to the channel. While you subscribing to me, go ahead and subscribe to Mrs. Best as well. Because any reviews or recaps I don't cover on my channel, it's because we over there on Mrs. Best channel covering it. We have Basketball Wives, Real Housewives of Miami. We also have The Valley currently on her channel, and she will be picking up King's Court that will be premiering I think next month. So if y'all don't want to miss that commentary, especially if you love those shows, go ahead and subscribe to Mrs. Best so you don't miss it. Because I'm telling you, especially with Basketball Wives of all shows, we go in. So yes, and also we have to also do some other house cleaning rules. Subscribe to Shana underscore MCD's channel as well. Shana is another Black content creator who was the first to ever embrace me and help me get my subscriber count up. Shana was the first one to see our content and actually be like, hey, y'all got something going here, and kept me going because this could be discouraging. So shout out to Shana. Subscribe to her channel. We want her to stay here on YouTube with us. She wants to get remonetized, and she well then deserves it. I'm sorry. She deserves it more than some of them who make millions. So go ahead and subscribe to Shana's channel and do me that solid. Thank you so much. Yeah. So the Next Gen NYC. The concept of this show is to show next generation kids who have a famous or very well connected parent in the industry, because apparently these are not all housewife kids. We have an investment banker's kids. We just have a random event coordinator who we don't know who she's connected to. We have someone whose father owns Zaxby's, the food chain. So yeah, I guess there was a different concept. Mrs. Best, before I begin explaining the episode, were you surprised that these weren't all housewife kids?
No, I had knew about the cast before the show was announced because of some people in my DM. Shout out to my subscribers. I love y'all. Um, but I think it was smart to do it with a cast of some housewife kids and some kids that aren't housewife kids because essentially we're just looking at the next generation of Bravo. Now that I've like watched the show a little bit, I thought it was next gen as in next generation of housewives, but I think it could be like the next generation of kids from Bravo. So
Yeah,
I don't know. It was okay.
absolutely.
I don't really like some of them. Some of the people I thought I would dislike, I'm loving. So I enjoyed the show thus far.
I enjoyed as well. It's very interesting. It definitely makes me want to take a trip up to New York. I have not been, so I want to make sure that I definitely go at some point. So the show starts off with Ariana Bierman. She is the daughter of Kim Zolciak. We never knew who her father was because he was never revealed on Real Housewives of Atlanta. But she says that her father is Corey Bierman, who is her stepfather, Kim's husband. They're currently going through a divorce right now. I remember her as a little girl. I watched Real Housewives of Atlanta since season one when Kim Zolciak did appear on there as the only white woman amongst all these black women. Um, I'm gonna let y'all know right now when I get to that scene. I'm gonna let you know I'm not sparing Kim Zolciak. So for those of y'all who are fans of her, I'm sorry, this ain't the channel for you because I will be going in when we get to that scene. But Ariana just moved to New York. She's been there for about a couple of weeks. She is apartment hunting. She is scouting the area. She got these big ass dogs walking through New York, mingling with the people. And I just feel like what she's doing is a very dangerous thing to do in New York. Of course, I've never been, but I just can't imagine, as busy as that city is, that she would be walking with all these dogs and mingling with people. I just don't think that that was a good idea because you're supposed to walk in New York with purpose. And I feel like she's setting herself up if she had anything on her to get robbed. So glad that she's making the transition to New York. I feel like this is a great move for her. From what we do know, she, aside from being a reality TV daughter, she also is an influencer. She's been one since she was 14 years old, and she wants to get into, designing and everything. So I feel like this is definitely a great move for her. So, Mrs. Best, how did you feel seeing Ariana Bierman? I don't remember what her last name was before she changed it to Bierman. I didn't know Corey adopted her. But how do you feel with her being on the show? Like, what did you think of her story?
I'm so sorry, y'all. Client. Um, I, here's the thing. I like Ariana, but it's hard to judge her based on how public her parents are. She's a little extra. I can understand why they would kind of start the show out showing her. Um, but I worry that her storyline will just be about like her family, her parents, you know. I'm saying this from the perspective of the first episode and what I
Yeah, I
saw.
was gonna say no.
Yeah.
That was a perfect explanation. Don't jump ahead. So
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
that's pretty much it. The first scene, her and that dog, like you can't really say much about it.
No, you can. I think that was dangerous of her to do. I feel like, especially if you're not a native of New York already, girl, don't be
Yes.
walking around New York with no big ass dogs like that, and them they dragging you. Like, don't. Yeah, that wasn't a good
I
move.
feel like she did it for because the cameras were there, if that makes sense. I feel like the way she's grown up and the way that how she does have her own money, it seems like she might like have dog walkers, which are not that
Mhm.
expensive.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, that was Ariana. You know, we are happy to see her back in the spotlight. I like her more than her sister, so I'm glad that they chose the right one because I don't think I would recap the show if Brielle was on the show. I just don't think I would. Moving on from there, we then are introduced or reintroduced for me on my channel because I do cover Real Housewives of Salt Lake City on my channel. We are introduced to Brooks Marks. He is the son of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Meredith Marks. Right now, they're doing a photo shoot. He is, I guess, the brand ambassador or event coordinator of Meredith's company. He does all of her fashions. He is also into fashion as well. He has his own clothing line. He is an entrepreneur. Um, I can't stand his voice. I'm sorry, y'all. I have to say this firsthand. Brooks annoys me. He really, really does. This very monotone, very whiny accent gets on my nerves. So I'm not going to be that uphold to Brooks. I'm gonna try to be as nice as possible because he so far has not done anything this episode that really pissed me off. But I just can't do the whiny voice. He sounds exactly like his mother. He looks exactly like her. Like that is Meredith's twin. If I ain't never seen Meredith's twin, all of her kids look exactly like her. It's scary. It really is. But Meredith is here. She's doing a photo shoot with him, which really irritated me because some of the looks were horrible, especially when she put on that blonde wig. I said, Meredith, what is you doing? Lord have mercy. But we are then introduced to Charlie and Ava. Now, Ava is the daughter of Damon Dash. I knew her before the show, so this was the one I didn't know outside of the Real Housewives kids. I didn't know her as well. She's Rachel Roy's daughter. That we know who Rachel Roy is. Obviously, if you are black, you definitely know who she is. But yeah, very cute girl. She's a model, and Charlie, we'll get more into his story a little bit later in the season. But he's another friend of Brooks. They've hit it off since Brooks moved to New York. So they come around. They're mingling with Meredith and everything. And Chloe, who is Brooks's sister, is there, and Brooks is introducing her to Charlie and Ava. And her and Charlie start talking and they hit it off. And he asked if she was single. And she said, yeah, I just got out of a relationship. And, so he kind of makes this as his move to kind of take her out, see where her head is, which, okay, so I was conflicted with this because I understand he's friends with Brooks. And this is Brooks' sister. And she is a very pretty girl. And, there is some spark in there because she obviously was interested to some degree. So, Mrs. Best, I have to ask you, um, do you think that it's okay for your friends to date your siblings?
I'm actually strongly against that and struggle with that with my little brother, who some of you who have frequented my channel have seen commenting on my lives like the fool that he is. Um, but He is a handsome young man, I guess. I guess the hoes see something in him. And I'd have had friends that he has tried to date and that have asked me about dating him. Mind you, he's 6 years younger than me. I question those friends. But I'm against it. I feel like
Ooh.
I feel like it's messy. It's tricky. If it was like a friend like James, right? Because I do have a sibling he is bisexual. If it was like James, right? That wouldn't be someone I would be too concerned about because I know that if it did not work out, he will not act like a fool. But when things don't work out, I think that is where the issue could come about because if somebody acts like a fool in the wrong way, with your sibling, if you love your sibling like I love my sibling, like Brooke should love his sibling, then that could become problematic because you're always going to feel the need, especially with the Marks family, to stick beside your family. So it's weird, but then at the same time, she's grown. Like you cannot like it, but I also had in the back of my head, like if this happens, that's just what's going to happen. Like it is what it is. There's nothing I can do about it. Um, but I mean, I just feel like it should be avoided. I think it just shows that Charlie may not be as deep as a friend.
Or he just doesn't have any bounds. I think that that's what it is. He's used to being this player. That's what the vibe he gave me this episode is that he's used to being this player, but not really like he does it as an alter ego, but he really don't have no play. 'Cause I don't picture like him really having play unless women in New York are just simple, just need to get, a $20 meal here and every now and then, and you find a food like that to do it for you. So maybe that could be what it is. But I don't, yeah, I didn't see the appeal in him like that, I guess. But, you know, Chloe's kind of, she seemed interested. Like when I was looking at her facial expressions and everything, she seemed interested in everything. So the photo shoot goes on. Ava does leave the event, and that leaves Charlie and what is this baby's name? Shit, I'd have forgot the sister's name. Chloe. It does lead them to conversate a little bit more.
She's kind of easy to forget.
They all are. They all are.
Yeah.
If Brooks wasn't so problematic, I would forget him too. But so we'll see. We'll pick up on that in just a moment here. So we go back to Ariana. She introduces us to her boyfriend Hudson. Now Hudson is the son of the guy who founded Zaxby's, the food chain. We do have a couple here in Phoenix. I've had it before. It is actually really, really good. So shout out to him. And I think that that is a huge flex, by the way, because that's almost like being with a Hilton, almost. Not really, but almost. But so they have dinner, and Ariana starts off the conversation with showing us her busted Louboutins. I said, Ariana, I know you want to be real with the real is, but you didn't have to do that. You could have just kept that shoe on the ground and tucked it in and just said you had on some Louboutins. But as she's explained to us her career and everything and how she's been doing everything since she was 14, what we learn about Ariana is the financial woes. Since her parents have divorced, it has come out, which is all public information, that they have been struggling financially hardly. So, in the midst of that, Ariana learned as she got older that Croy and Kim Zolciak has spent all her money. Now, we understand that this has happened to a couple of celebrity kids. More commonly, another one who spoke out about her mama spending all her money was Alana Thompson, who is Honey Boo Boo. She has said that Mama June Shannon, has spent all her money on, drugs and everything else. So I just want to understand, you trash ass parents who are supposed to be setting your children up, especially when you have the access like a Kim Zolciak or a Mama June, to why you would think it would be okay to spend your children's money. And from what we understand about Kim Zolciak, that's allegedly in the media today, is that she has a gambling problem. So I'm just like, wow, you trash ass human beings, both you and Corey. Because first of all, Kim, you can go out and get you a job. Weren't you a nurse at one point? That's was your claim to fame, that when people was trying to defame you on Real Housewives of Atlanta and talk about how you wouldn't hold black babies and stuff, and you took such an offense to that because you said you were a nurse. So why you can't get your old tack head ass up and get you a damn job? Because you're not on reality TV no more. So why are you not working? But Kim always rubbed me the wrong way anyway. She always was trash to me, like Nene said. Like she was not a good person to me, so it doesn't surprise me. Corey, on the other hand, that does surprise me. Unless he was just following Kim's lead and just letting her do whatever the fuck she wanted to do, I'm really surprised by his behavior because he didn't give me that when I saw him on Real Housewives. I never watched their Tardy for the Party show, so I don't know what they were like then. But as far as when he was on Real Housewives of Atlanta, he didn't give me that he had this kind of energy. But of course, he was playing football then. So maybe that could be why I didn't see it from him. But that's crazy that she revealed that. And Hudson, who's her boyfriend, because they're going to move to New York together, he comes from money. And he's like, look, like, you need to learn how to cut your mama off. Like, how do you know she's really spending the money that you're sending her on your siblings or on the utilities, like she says it is? How do you know she's really doing that? And Ariana's like, well, she's my mom, and I can't just cut off my mom. I need to make sure my siblings are all taken care of and everything. So it's hard. And I do agree with her that is hard because Kim does have 4 other children who are Corey's children who don't deserve to be in this detriment that they're in because their mama can't make a sound decision and their daddy can't seem to make a decision. So it's kind of like you don't want the kids to suffer behind their mama and dad. So I understood where Ariana was coming from, but Ariana, you got to have this conversation. Your mama is young enough to get a fucking job. She's not 70. She is in her 40s, I believe. How old is Kim Zolciak, y'all? 40s? She's in her 40s.
Hold on, I am on my work computer. They're gonna look at me weird. How old is Kim Zolciak? 47, May 19th, 1978. Ew, our birthdays are days away from each other. Ugh.
Well, Kim can go out and get her a fucking job.
She can. She has a nursing degree. She has a BSN. So if she wants to get a job, even though she hasn't practiced nursing in forever, never worked in the field, I believe, um, she can go consult. She can be a telephone advice nurse. Like she can do things without actually having to touch patients. She can assist teaching places. I mean, the bitch can get a job.
I don't
Blood
understand it.
banks. I don't.
I don't
Kim
understand.
is. I think Kim, like in psychology, there's people who are addicted to like specific things, yes, but then there's also people who end up somewhat addicted to just like a lifestyle. And I feel like her gambling issue, the cigarettes, it seems like Kim is always like moving around to different like obsessions and addictions. She can get a job. She knows she can get a job. Um, I don't have anything good to say, James.
Just say it. Hell, I don't have anything good to say either because I feel like that is crazy to me how, and let's not pretend that she wasn't living off some married man when she first got on Real Housewives of Atlanta. Let's not pretend like that wasn't the storyline that she was, or that wasn't the narrative that she was pushing herself. So is it surprising to me that she's now using her daughter's income and money? No, it does not surprise me at all. That just goes to show you what trash she really is. And I'm glad Ariana exposed that because the money had to come from somewhere. Because it always seemed like they were able to get themselves out of situations when the blogs were posted, like they were able to get themselves out of that foreclosure notice, but they still had to sell the house because I think one of them filed bankruptcy or something. It was some shit. So
We can't
it's,
even keep up with the
yeah,
debt.
I don't keep up, but I just hate to see. But it's his own damn fault. So I'm not, so he ain't got nobody to blame. Someone. I just can't help but to see somebody as fine as Corey is getting some old bullshit like he is in.
I
Got
can't stand you.
4 fucking kids from this old hoe. It just, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. I like seriously. I hate what Biff. But then he's just as trash as she is because he ain't got no damn job. He could go out there and get him a commentator's job. He can go out there and work as well. He ain't off the hook. But I'm just saying he got caught up and trapped, and now he don't know which way. He over there having meltdowns and shit. It's like, sir, you did it to yourself because everybody gave you the Google, the Yelp, the YouTube reviews. Everybody gave you every warning sign in the book about this woman with the cigarette hanging off her lip. But you still steady and still wanted that
Not
for
the,
yourself. So
not the cigarette hanging off her lip. I can't.
No, I'm just saying that's exactly what
I
it
know
is.
her wig stank. When I was in high school watching RHOA with my mama, because we used to watch the episodes, my mama used to say it. I used to crack up. I know that lady wig stank because she hold the cigarette close to it and everything. I said, "Oh shit!" I know Kim's wig stank. It has to. I don't understand why she wore the wigs. We done seen Kim auctioning off her products everywhere from the Facebook marketplace to eBay. I think Bravo kind of made a mistake in employing Ariana, but I'm also kind of teetering on the fence with that because I feel like it's not her fault her parents suck. Do you know what I mean? But I don't really care to hear about
Yes and
Kim.
no. Yes and no. Well, here's the thing. She should have came on reality TV because I would have if I knew my money got sucked up into my mama and daddy's bullshit. Absolutely, I'm coming on reality because I need my check at the end of the day, and I need to get some exposure. I need to get some endorsements because I need to make sure I'm okay, and then I need to make sure I cut their motherfucking asses off. So, of course, I would have pulled the same move that she did, but at the same time, I would be cussing my mama out on TV because there's no way you finna come at me asking me for money while I'm at work when your ass can get you a fucking job. Hi, PM Rocks. Thank you for being here today. We appreciate you. But yeah, Ken is trash. And Corey
Yeah.
is too. But once again, Corey, damn.
I want Ariana though on this show to shine. Like we
Me
know what
too.
happens later on, but I do want her to like show herself and to lean away from discussing her parents and finances and lean into the fact that she's dating the heir of somebody who's rich as hell and she's figuring it out. Like show
Hmm.
her personality because she is likable on this show. She's one of my favorites thus far. But I just want her to not give Kim a pot to piss in. Okay. Kim don't need to be shown on your FaceTime. We don't need to hear you talking about her. Stop making your mama relevant.
Because
She's
I'm saying
trash.
when she appears on the show, it's gonna be hard for me. It really is, y'all. I'm sorry. It's gonna be hard for me to really be nice because I'm not going to be nice. So let's go ahead and go on. So we have Brooks and his sister Chloe. They're at some club where there's a long ass line. They're calling Charlie. Charlie ain't even left his house yet. And so they text Georgia, which we're introduced to Georgia McCann. She is a fourth generation New Yorker. She is an event coordinator, throws a lot of events for Diplo and some other one that was on some TV show that nobody heard of or nobody knows. But Georgia is problematic. Georgia, as we learned throughout the last part of this episode, is very nasty. And she just reminds me of like, somebody who's artsy that don't wear no deodorant. That's what she reminds me of. Is someone like that. She just looked like she stinks, and I'm just not somebody that would want to be around her. Just on that premise alone. But we are introduced to Georgia. She, once again, she has a great career. If y'all don't understand, if y'all don't know who Georgia is, she's at the top row, all the way to the right. She's the only girl amongst them four men right there. I did not realize that was her. That is a huge, huge improvement than when we see her on the show. Because I'm sure they took these photos way after the fact that they had filmed this. She looks great there. Absolutely stunning. But in the show, not so much. But she's very giddy, very, just like I said, she's very interesting and weird. Everybody knows her. Everybody, loves her. Charlie speaks highly of her. He says he loves going to her events and everything. He also Brooks and them also know her as well, and say that they've known her for a while, and that she is one of the it girls of New York. I said, okay, we'll see as time goes on. We then move over from the scene, and then we get to see Ava. She's with her father, Damon Dash, and explains her backstory. Explains that he's modeling and everything. And, for me, it's good to see Damon Dash. It really is. For those of y'all who do not know who Damon Dash is, he's one of the founding members of Rockefeller. Him and Jay-Z, they have fallen out since then. Huge history, big in his hip hop history, big idol, nothing but good things to say. How did you feel meeting Ava? Do you think she fits into the show? Oh, I didn't even realize.
Shit. It's okay. I'm not working anymore. So sorry. That's why I had changed devices. But Ava and Damon Dash were on TV for years on WeTV on Growing Up Hip Hop. I didn't really. So for me, it was the same dynamic. Like I know how he is with his kids. That's the one area I really like about Damon Dash. He's there for his kids. But Ava and his son Boogie used to be on Growing Up Hip Hop for many years. So I was surprised to see Ava come without Boogie, but he's got some drug issues and some other things and a different mom. But Ava is someone I'm kind of like, I do feel like she blends better with this type of crowd, more versatile crowd compared to like a growing up hip hop. It was like very like Angela Simmons, Romeo was on there. Like it was more hip hop-ish, if that makes sense. And she's kind of a floater. So I don't mind her, but we're gonna see a lot of Damon Dash. I already knew that as soon as I saw that she was on the show, because he's like constant and actually consistent in his kids' lives. And I don't really be caring to see him like that. I don't mind Ava. Nothing against Ava. She's young. She's doing it. She's modeling. She's the daughter of legends. So cool. But why is him and that dog and that white wife he got with them glasses got to be around so often?
Yeah. Y'all, I'm sorry about that motorcycle. I told you I live off of Main Street, so sorry if y'all heard that. Hi, Dimples on Demand. Thank you for being here, my love. I appreciate you. Yeah, okay, but we'll see how Ava. She seems like she's gonna be just in the background for me, and I don't know. I'm one of those where I'm gonna see where she fits because
like she fits with the crowd realistically in terms of just the energy of New York and friend groups of New York. But in terms of reality TV, Ava doesn't, to me, just from what I know prior to watching her, she's never been that interesting. And that's no shade to her. Beautiful girl, so much talent, but some people just ain't for reality TV.
Yeah. I agree. I think that's one of the she's gonna be an interesting cast choice. So we'll see what she brings to the show. I'm very curious, but so far she gives me a little stale. So we'll see what happens with her. The next thing we have, y'all, is we have this very disgusting scene of Georgia combing her hair with a fork. I mean, this lady is literally giving us 1,000,001 ways for us to see that she is very nasty. This is one of those things where she meets up with Charlie. They basically have like this lunch, and he explains to her that he's going to be meeting up with Brooke's sister Chloe and everything. And Georgia says she loves Charlie. He always sleeps at her house or she sleeps at his house on the couch, everything 5-6 days a week and all this. And I'm like, okay. Georgia and Charlie give me that they fucked before. I don't know why I got that feeling from them. I don't know why it matters, but that is nasty if they did. Just because some tells me she's not clean, but some tells me he ain't clean either. So yes, but I just don't like them too. So that was an okay scene. Hey Naya, thank you for being here. I watched the first episode. The show was okay. My attention dwindled for episode 2 though. Yeah, episode 2 was crazy. It was a little dramatic. I'm covering that next, and then I'll cover 3 and 4 on Sunday. We're gonna move on. So as we move on, we meet. What is this baby's name? I'm so sorry, y'all, because I don't know this lady. So give me 1 second. Gotta look at my notes here. We meet. Shit, what is her name? Is it Ariana? No, it's not Ariana. Is it Avina? Avina?
Which one?
I don't want to. Okay, so here's the thing. I'm trying to avoid calling her the trans girl, but I have to. I'm so
That's
sorry.
What it is.
But they did not mention this on the show, and I don't know why they didn't mention it. I mean, I guess it doesn't. And
maybe because they're just trying to be inclusive. Because realistically, if someone's trans, it's like, okay, and then you move on. Well,
Her
hopefully
name is
that's what you
Amira.
do.
I finally have my notes where she is. Her name is Amira. She's the one on the right. She looks like, and I don't want to offend Camila Cabello, but that's who she looks like, and that's who I thought that
She
was.
does.
She looks exactly like Camila Cabello. Like she looks exactly like her. So beautiful girl, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. She is. She has lots of contracts. I think she has a contract with Victoria's Secret right now. She does runway. She is a model. Has had a crazy journey. From what I understand, she is very TikTok famous. A lot of people have followed her and her journey. I like her a lot. I think she's funny. As far as like not really disguising her voice, but disguising the voice. I thought it was funny. She's well connected. She knows Brooks. She knows Gia. She knows Ava. So she's well connected through the group. And as far as her story goes, she's has this big fashion show coming up. That she's going to invite everybody. She don't play when it comes to her friends, though. From what Brooks explained, she'll fight somebody over her friends, which sounds like Mrs. Best to me. But that's just what it is. Sometimes you got to fight for your friends if you really truly love them, and they can't fight for themselves, as we will see Brooks later on this episode does not do. But other than what was your impression of Amira? Like, what do you think of her?
She was cool. She was the one person on the cast who they introduced to. I was like, you fit. I think she really hit every mark that you would want in terms of like reality TV. She's young like the rest of them. She's accomplished like the rest of them. She's interesting. And we always need somebody that's going to just ride blindly for their friends, because it just makes for good TV. Somebody could try their friend incorrectly, right? James could be wrong, and I'm gonna still be like, okay, he wrong, and do you want a problem? Do you want to talk about it? So that makes for good TV sometimes. It just does. But so far, I did like her. She's like animated, but it comes off as genuine versus like some of the people who work really hard to be animated. But yeah, I didn't have nothing negative yet.
Yeah, that's hilarious. So I'm gonna skim through this next thing because I really don't care because it's stupid at the end of the day. But Charlie meets up with Brooks's little sister. Fuck, what is this little girl? Chloe. Meets up with Chloe. They have the date, and once again, I feel like I'm looking at Meredith 30 years ago. It's just. I'm not saying Meredith is ugly. I'm not saying Meredith is ugly, but all three of your children look exactly like you, just in different formations of your face. It's hard to look at them. Because y'all, I used to love Meredith season 1 of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I have soon fallen off of that train. So it's gonna be hard for me to watch Meredith kids on the show. It just really is. But she meets up with Charlie, and he's ordering some weird drink, and they have drinks out of birdhouses and bathtubs and shit. It was a weird scene, weird restaurant, but he asked her, about her dating life and everything, just really weird. And I didn't realize that this was the same Charlie that Lindsay Lohan tried to deny that she was ever with. I didn't realize this was that same Charlie. But yes, this is somebody that Lindsay Lohan used to be with allegedly. But so that's kind of his roster. So that's his claim to fame. And the date was just really awkward because she's just smiling, and I don't know what's wrong with Meredith's kids. I don't. They're just weird. All three of them. Well, I don't know. I don't know the oldest child, but But this date ends up turning into something really big towards the middle and end of this episode. So I'm gonna skip over the date. Mrs. Best, anything you want to add to the date? Oh, Dimples on demand.
No. Meredith does look like Caitlyn Jenner. I noticed it too. I love Dimples on Demand. Dimples on Demand. I mess with you. I fuck with you the long way because you always be seeing and saying and typing the things that I be thinking in my head. Because Meredith does look just like Caitlyn Jenner, down to the box stiff shoulders, right up in there. And I don't know why Meredith and Seth have to be shown so much in this show. Like we're
Yeah, because I'm not. No, it's bad enough. I got to cover them on Salt Lake City. I'm not trying to have them on.
We don't even want her on Salt Lake City.
We really don't. We don't.
I hate that she talks like that.
Why? And I hate that her kids have this these nasally ass damn voice tones. It's like, oh my God, I'm not here for it. But anyways, we move on to Ariana. Her and Hudson are looking at apartments. And Ariana wants to stick into, you know, a budget to where, because I guess they're splitting things 50-50. I think that's what they're doing. It was the context was very weird. But they're looking at apartments that are definitely outside the budget. Brooks gave her the lowdown of where she should move. He said, this place is cool, this place is cool, this place is cool, this is where you want to avoid because it is crazy. Me personally, if I had to live in New York, I would still be in Manhattan, but I probably would be in Chelsea. If I were going to be anywhere, it's probably be Chelsea. Or if I wanted to get out of the city, I probably would go. I could live in Brooklyn. I have people there, so I could live in Brooklyn. You know, but I definitely wouldn't be too far out. Just saying. But let me go ahead and move on. Let's see what else happened. So we move on from there. Brooks meets up with Riley. This is Riley's introduction to the show. And when Brooks meets up with her, they're talking about Amira's event that they're both going to be going. That it's going to be a fashion show. And then Brooks drops this bomb on Riley that Charlie, and Riley says she's known Charlie for about a year now, so she's, you know, familiar with them. Charlie and Chloe went out on a date. And he sends Brooks this text message saying, hey, me and your sister out on another date. You want to come meet with us? That is if Chloe's not back at my place. Brooks is shaken up because he doesn't know how to necessarily take that. He's very uncomfortable with it, and it's very disrespectful for him to send that text message to him. So he asks Riley, if this were Kayla and Charlie took Kayla out on a date, would you feel a way if he invited you to go out to drinks with your sister, but then say, hey, well, she may be back at my place. I don't know. How would you feel? And Riley said, no, I would feel a way absolutely because that's disrespectful as hell. Now, how can she split 50-50 when she ain't got dimples on the man? I love you so much.
Yes.
Oh my God, I love you so much. I do.
Yank.
This is one of my best friends in my head. I promise you, dimples on the man. You were one of my best friends in my head. Because that is hilarious. Because she can't do it. But yes, he got the money. He got the damn money. Well, his family.
Good for him for being a young man willing to help his lady.
Yeah.
I got
it. Yeah. So, but anyways, where was I talking about? Okay, because I really don't care. But Brooks. So, Mrs. Best, I have to ask, because I'm split with this in my mind. A part of me feels like Chloe is grown, and if that's what she chooses to do, that's what she chooses to do. You shouldn't feel any kind of way about this. But then again, it does cross that bounds because this is your friend, and this is your sister, and the shit go backfire. Then you're going to have to make a decision. And of course, you're going to choose your sister and then lose a friend. But then it also makes me wonder how much of a value is Charlie to you? Because it just seems like y'all are friends because of this show. I don't see him and Brooks being friends outside the show. I just don't see it. Not to say because Brooks is gay and he's straight, that's really why I don't think they would be friends. No, they just don't. They give me their personalities are way too different.
Brooks is dainty and he kind of lacks personality. Look at his picture, y'all. Like everybody else gave us smiles, gave us some edge, something. Even the girl who throw the parties don't look dirty. And then there's Brooks. Like
he do look stiff in that picture though. He really
Brooks
does.
Like I don't feel like he's comfortable being on camera, and that's okay. But I also feel like his mom, like his parents seem too involved in this show, and it seems like they're maybe pushing him to this, but I don't feel like Brooks is the one person who really doesn't blend in with this friend group. Brooks and Gia don't blend.
Yeah, and I'm gonna get on Gia in a minute. But yeah, I don't think he blends either. I think this just threw him in this show. Like, I really do. I think they just threw him in the show. But he's uncomfortable, and Riley supports that. Riley supports, the fact that, it's an uncomfortable situation for Brooks to be in if they decide to pursue this further, which I don't think that they will. I just think this was something just for episode 1. I don't think that him and Chloe are going to go anywhere. I really don't. So we have Ariana and Hudson still looking at apartments. They meet with their realtor. They have lunch. And the realtor was like, y'all got to crank up the budget. If you want a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, in New York City, you want to crank up the budget. You want to have to go way higher than $6,000 to $8,000. You have to go way higher than that. And I don't understand how they didn't understand that. Unless y'all trying to live in the Bronx or in Harlem, which Harlem is nice now. Like, from what I understand, I have 2 friends in New York right now. They say Harlem is nice now. So y'all, they make it find
It
something.
is.
Yeah.
It is. I have cousins that are there. It is. It very much so is. It's a lot of New York and the neighborhoods that we think of publicly that used to be have been gentrified. So
yeah. So I don't know why they just won't. Yeah, they need to go. They probably going to go outside the city if they really want to. Like, if he don't want to break his pockets, which I understand, because to me, as I said, he's an heir. So I think for me, I would want to reserve some of my money because I may want to invest because Zaxby's is not everywhere. Like, they have a couple locations here in Phoenix. They have, I think, a few locations in California, but they don't have locations everywhere. So I would, like, if he wants to invest in them and build up his own empire with the business, I would be reserving my money. And we're going to have this conversation next episode because, you know, that does come up for everything. So it is Amira's event. She's having the fashion show. I don't know who this designer is, but it is very scary. The whole event. It's in this church of all places. There's blood, there's goth. And I'm like, I guess we're trying to make Catholicism different, I guess. Okay. It was very strange. Dimples on the Man, what you say? I grew up in Brooklyn. You can get a 2-bedroom, 1-bath for $1,800. Mm-hmm. I know, yeah, yeah, you sure can. They want to be in
the Bay Area. I need to get
it
out
really
of here.
is. Mrs. Best, maybe we need to go to New York.
Y'all, I'm paying $2,300 for a 1-bedroom. That hurts.
I'm not. Well, no, I live in cheap ass Phoenix, but I would go to New York. I honestly, I would. I don't have any problem with that. I don't know how. I'm so used to having a car, so I don't know.
I got a car. We can share. Come on, let's go. You know I want to go. Why would you say that?
Maybe I'll live in Jersey and I'll just be like, G, and just commute and take the.
At this point, I'm paying $2,300 for a 1-bedroom, not including my utilities. It doesn't matter where the fuck I move to. I may as well just go where I want because I'm already given all that I got.
I mean, I'm an author, so of course New York will always be a great place for me. But I'm just saying, you know, I don't know. I just don't know if I could do it full time. Maybe I'll be a snowbird. Maybe we'll do it like that. I'll come to New York during like the summer months, and then I'll come back to Phoenix or wherever I end up. Which me and my partner are going to talk about that because like we talked about leaving Phoenix. I'm done with Phoenix. I'm only here because I met somebody because I really was about to leave again. I'm still on that train. I might leave again. Like I can't stand being here. But yeah, I do agree with this. They want to be in poppin' neighborhood. Well, I feel like Ariana does. I feel like he's just going with the flow. She found her another Croy. Like, I'm not saying she's like her mama in a sense, but she definitely found her mother's type of man that she's married to now. I just hope that doesn't turn into what it turned into today. I live in New Jersey now. My mortgage is $1,200 further. See, I think I would love New Jersey. I do. I think I would love New Jersey. I think that might be my speed. I do. I have a friend who lives in Middlesex. So, yes, I definitely think that's more my speed. I was thinking about coming to Arizona. I'm not sure I can manage the heat.
No.
It is bad. It is bad. But what I'm going to say about Arizona, I would not recommend it for a long term. Like, I'm not saying don't come here because you could definitely come here. But if you come here with a plan, you're going to be more successful than coming here because you're going to get complacent. You're going to get used to the environment because it is slow paced here. And then it's going to eventually turn you into the oppressed. And the only reason why I know that for sure is because I moved to Florida. And when I moved to Florida, I did not want to leave. I had no other choice but to leave because I got thrown out. So unfortunately, I had to come back to Phoenix. But living in Florida, I miss it so much. I miss my life. I missed my job in Florida. I miss going to events. I miss Miami just was the place. It just was for me. So I miss it a lot. So coming back here, you can see why I have this subtlety to want to leave again because I don't like it here. I just hate it. New Jersey is nice. You couldn't pay me to move back to New Jersey. Oh, okay. Okay, I see. All right.
You know, it's funny that my husband always says, because I have a thing, I want to go to New York, and my husband's against it. But he says if he goes to the East Coast, he wants to go to New Jersey, which is extremely random. But apparently, he did his research and was showing me all these things. And I'm like, the people who do buy there don't seem to leave that much. So maybe I need to look. I'm sick of California, y'all. Sick of it. I will do the snow at this point, James.
No, I'm not going to do no snow. It's just not going to happen unless I give me one of them driveways where the driveway is a heated driveway and it can melt the shit so I can back out perfectly. Then yes, we can do that. But no, I'm not going to do no snow. Just not going to do it. But anyways, y'all, I got to move on because we got to hurry and get to my next live because Mrs. Best has a live at 4:30 that we need to make. So, oh yes, please, you got to visit Cali. You got to come. And when you do, let us know because we will definitely, but we are from Northern California. We're not from LA. So if you want to experience Northern California, which is San Francisco, Oakland, all of that area, then that's where you guys. But if you want to go to LA, we'll meet you there. But I have specific places I go to in LA. I don't go through all of LA. And they're not even in LA. They out on the outskirts of LA. San Pedro Pier when I go to get seafood. Santa Clarita, I go to Magic Mountain, even though I think they're closing it. But yeah.
No, they're not.
Oh, they're not? Okay, I heard a rumor about that. Okay, good.
Great America. Gone.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, we see the fashion show. It was weird, but congratulations to Amira. Baby, I'm sorry, Amira, I'm gonna get your name right. I am so sorry, baby. I'm gonna get your name right. I promise you. But they go to an after hour spot. And this is where Riley meets Georgia for the first time. And Georgia shakes her hand and everything. And I'm just thinking, Riley, oh, if only you knew, baby. If only you knew before this time. So it gets awkward because Charlie is there, Brooks is there, Ava joins them, and also Gia comes as well. Gia comes all the way from New Jersey. She was explaining the commute from New Jersey to New York, what you can experience. But Gia met Brooks at BravoCon in 2023, and they have been close ever since. And so she joins, the crew. She knows Riley, of course, because, they're Real Housewives kids. So they're mingling everything, and it's awkward because Brooks wants to bring up the whole Chloe situation. And he doesn't have the words to really say it. So I think at this point, Brooks, if you don't know how to say it, or if you ain't man enough to say it, then don't say shit at all and just feel how you feel. That's how I felt. But Gia pipes up and says that, he thinks you're disrespectful about what you said. And Charlie was like, okay, so are you disrespecting? Are you his mouthpiece? Like, what is this? And I agreed with Charlie at this point because I was like, Gia, this is what we don't need from you. And this is why I didn't want you on the show. But whatever. And Riley is usually that type that also pipes up for her friends, but she realizes that she has to take that back seat because, she needs to let her friends fight their own battles. And I'm like, yeah, Riley, don't get caught up in all this. But, so he finally brings up the text messages and, he was saying how much he cares about Charlie, but this was just way crossing the line and everything. And, they're telling Charlie he needs to apologize. And when I mean they, Ava and Gia, they were like specifically like, hey, you need to apologize to him. So he does apologize. They do smooth it over, and it is what it is. So it comes to the point where the ladies everyone kind of splits apart. The men go somewhere else, they're smoking or whatever, and the ladies are all sitting at the table, and they decide to go to the bathroom. So as they're going to the bathroom and everything, Georgia, pees and then just gets up, and Riley was like, "You're not gonna wash your hands?" And Georgia tells her, "No, I never wash my hands. I'm kind of pro germ." And Riley's like, "I don't know if you're serious." And Georgia said, "No, dead ass, I'm serious." And we're like, ugh. Because before this, y'all have to understand, this lady not only peed and not wash her hands, but she touched the bottom of Ava's shoe, the shoes that Ava got for the fashion show. She touched the bottom of that shoe. And that was another clear indication. And you're not going to wash her. And then she rubbed her face. And it was like, ugh. And she says she's pro-germs. And she says biology says that germs are actually good for the body and everything like that. And I'm looking at her like, as a biology major, yes and no. Yes and no. No. I'm going to say no because that's disgusting. I am somebody, I have hand sanitizer everywhere. I am a germaphobe. not to the degree of like a germaphobe would be like putting hand sanitizer, but I have hand sanitizer ready and prepared. It's in the car. I don't think I have any in this room because this is my office and I just moved in here, but it's in my bedroom. I have it everywhere. I don't play. I just don't, yeah. I have Lysol wipes. Yes. I can't with Georgia. So it comes to a point where Georgia's going to leave and she goes to hug Riley, and Riley said, you don't wash your hands. I don't want a hug from you. And Georgia was like, really? And about to Karen the whole moment. And this is where I'm like, see, this is what you're not about to do. You're not finna shame me because I don't want to hug you because your nasty ass didn't wash your fucking hands. That is nasty. And I am just like, I'm just done. I don't like Georgia already on the strength of when she walked out of the place, she goes, well, God forbid I wash my hands. And this is Charlie co-signing. He goes, I don't wash my hands every time I piss. My dick is clean. And I just said, you just had to reference you having a dick, didn't you? As if we can't tell that you a fucking man. That ain't the point here. The point is she touched the bottom of somebody's fucking shoe in New York City, of all places to be. And then when she pissed or took the bathroom, she didn't wash her hands. And you're saying that it's not a big deal? Yeah, something wrong with people. Something wrong. Mrs. Best, how did you feel about that scene?
Trifling. Colorless activities. I can't even say, I'm gonna just keep it a buck. I grew up in private school because I was in a bad neighborhood and my parents didn't want us in their schools. A lot of the white kids washed their hands and took showers and all of that. So I can't even say that. I don't know why she feels that way. I feel like a part of it she was just saying and doing for the show. But then the other piece of me that's like that stronger instinct is like, but who jokes about that? Like, it's really not funny. So you must be out here in these streets not washing your hands. I don't know. Some people just trifling. Ain't nothing you can do about it. Keep you some Purell, Purex, Germ-X, whatever brand it may be. Keep you some sanitizer or some vodka with your clothes. And this is why, because you never know. This is why I don't touch people. Like, I don't touch people. I have several clients. I'm a social worker. I have several clients, and some of them have medical stuff, some of them don't. But I'm a big, we could bump elbows, things like that. I don't be touching people. And yes, I will still wear a mask. And this is exactly why. Ain't got shit to do with COVID. People is nasty.
Child, I'm telling you, I'm looking at this like, ooh-wee. She gonna be a problem. I can already tell she about to be a big ass problem, and I'm not here for it. But that was the episode, y'all. I'm not, as I said, it was okay for me to recap, but I'm telling you right now, Georgia, no ma'am, can't do you. But as far as everyone else, I'm still gonna give everyone a fair shot. But so far, Georgia is on my bad side. Charlie is inching over there already. I like everybody else. As far as that goes, Brooks is always going to be Brooks to me, so I'm not going to put him on the totem pole at all. But everybody else, I'm so far liking. So we'll see what happens if I like this 3 and 4. But we're going to go ahead and move on to episode 2 because we got to get going because Mrs. Best still has to do Real Housewives of Miami. So we'll see you guys on her channel. And thank you guys for being here. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you in just a second so we can do episode 2. Have a good one, y'all.